Hello, friend, and welcome to my third video, episode 3 of Girl Influx. I'm sticking to my commitment of reading 1 to 2 entries of my high school diary every day in an attempt to be vulnerable and to let go of my past. This is my way of processing. I invite you to watch my previous videos, my intro video for more clarification on exactly what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. A couple of disclaimers. I might be sniffling throughout my dramatic diary entry readings because I'm feeling a little bit under the weather. Currently working in a school. Ooh, what was that? Flash. Okay. Currently working a school and kids are full of germs and carrying germs, and I probably caught something. And I'm a little bit, I feel in my throat that something is coming on. So apologies. So let's get right into it. Enough rambling. And also today I'm going to be reading 2 entries because one of them is pretty short. And yes, let's get into it, shall we? August 6th, 2015. Exactly a day after my last entry, episode 2. Today I learned that wearing white shirts is risky business. I stained it twice, once from a juicy peach at breakfast, and then again while eating soup in the car. I'm just a messy eater, I think. Luckily, a little water helped the marks fade. This morning after SAT practice, we were waiting for my mom to drop off lunch for Naomi and Lauren, / pick me up. Okay, to clarify, Naomi is my older sister, Lauren is my little sister. We went to SAT practice together. I would leave early to go to my volunteer position at a lab at Hopkins, and my mom would drop off. Naomi and Lauren would stay later, and my mom would drop off lunch for them. That's why I say that. / pick me up to go to lab when Naomi kind of had a breakdown. It's that time of the month for her, and I guess the cramps were getting the best of her. Mom was frazzled and had to run to Walgreens to get Naomi a Midol. Good job, Mom. I found out later that she felt perfectly fine afterwards. Personally, I pitied what she was experiencing, but I can't really relate. I haven't had my period since 7th grade. Yes, typical hallmark of anorexia is that you have amenorrhea, which is you don't get your period because you're malnourished and unhealthy and you're not getting enough nutrients and your body is like in shock and will not have its normal proper functions, and menstruation is one of them if you're a girl. So it was a big sign that I was still sick, that I hadn't had my period for many years. And I think that's why this event was specifically salient for me, because I remember Naomi was so distraught and in pain and just complaining. She had really painful periods, and I was just kind of an outsider and was like, I should be doing that. I'm close to her in age. That should be happening to me too. But because I'm struggling and I have this eating disorder, my body is just not functioning how it should be. So I think that's why I included this little anecdote in my diary entry. Okay, moving on. Lunch was Bonfresco. Oh, I miss Bonfresco. It was so good. It's this cafe in my hometown, and they have the best London broil sandwiches with the best ciabatta, and this London broil, it's a type of beef, and just some greens and onions. Oh, it was so delicious. I'm still thinking about it now. Just because I had an eating disorder doesn't mean that I didn't think food tasted good. I still loved food. That was actually the problem. I loved food so much that I felt like I had to deprive myself of it. Okay, I'll get into that. Open that can of worms later on when my entries get a little bit juicier. But back to my entry. Lunch was Bonfresco, and that put me in a happy mood. Except the brownie was too sweet, and Mom made me eat half of it. Always had to find something to complain about, Megan. I ran my first real gel electrophoresis today at lab. Gel electrophoresis, to clarify for the non-sciencey people watching this, it's just this way of figuring out how much the sizes of DNA fragments, if I'm recalling correctly, in a certain sample of cells. And it's a very basic science protocol. And I was just learning the ropes in the lab. Yes, probably boring. You probably don't want to know that, but I'm just kind of trying to define unknown terms in my writing. The results came out kind of smeared. Okay, so I didn't do it right. But even that happens to Jessica sometimes. Jessica is my mentor, postdoc fellow at Hopkins, graciously welcomed me under her wing and taught me all these things and graciously used her time to help a clueless high schooler. This was my summer before sophomore year of high school. We made glitter jars in art therapy, which I am probably way too excited about. Mine reminds me of mermaid colors. Wow, this was really whiplashy entry. My writing style is just like, oh, lab, ooh, art therapy. You'll get used to it. Oh, I also FaceTimed Natalie, and she hasn't changed a bit. If you haven't watched my last episode, Natalie was my best friend who moved away, and I found myself getting back in touch with her after a very serendipitous event. My last sentence is, need to watch Netflix now. The end. Okay, that's that entry. Next, August 8th, 2015. This morning, we had Dunkin' Donuts for breakfast. I had an English muffin sandwich with ham, egg, and cheese. Mom wanted me to have some hash browns too, but I said that they tasted sour to me. Really, I just didn't want to eat them. During school, a lot of kids get coffee or something from Dunkin' and carry it around to class like they're cool. Ridiculous, because there are signs on the hall that clearly state water is the only beverage allowed. Oh my gosh, I can't stand myself. Why do I feel the need to reprimand people? Oh my god. Speaking of school, I looked at my schedule today. I guess my teachers are okay, but I'm a little worried about Mr. Engler for chemistry. I heard some iffy things about him, so I'm going to have to work extra hard in that class. Naomi's taking 7 APs next year, and she's starting to have second thoughts. Mom is always saying now that she doesn't care about how we do in school as long as we're healthy. AKA, we don't starve ourselves like I did. Yes, I was very type A and perfectionistic and academic driven and focused, and I felt like I needed to work myself to the bone in order to be successful, in order to receive praise, to be respected, and that bled into all aspects of my life, including my eating habits and my body, and it spiraled into an eating disorder. And that's why I starved myself. And my mom was coming to terms with that health is way more important than grades. So props to Mom for saying that. Dad is fiercely cleaning the basement, where we hide all our junk, because we have an appraisal for the house on Monday. That is such a random sentence. Why am I writing like this? Good luck with that. I hope nothing is wrong with my liver, since Mom is super worried about some yellow pigmentation in my hands and feet. I can't remember the name of... Oh, jaundice. If you have some yellow tinge to your skin, it means that your liver isn't functioning properly. So, yeah, just another health concern, because I literally didn't eat nutrients for many months. Okay. I had to get blood drawn earlier for that reason, but I also need blood tests every week now that I'm in intensive outpatient therapy. Ugh. Yes, they took our blood every week and weighed us every day. Before lunch, Mom and I got into a fight because I didn't want to get pizza. It's not like I was trying to get into a fight, it's just that she told me last night we were eating P.F. Chang's leftovers for lunch today. But no, Mom took it as a sign that I was still sick and had a total breakdown. Okay, it was a sign that I was still sick. This is a prime example of how inflexible I was with what I ate. And if we veered off from the plan of what I was going to eat, when I was going to eat it. It just put my body and my brain in like fight or flight mode because I couldn't calculate calories, and just it's so irrational, but that is what an eating disorder does to your mentality and to your attitude towards food. I couldn't just like eat pizza instead of leftovers. I couldn't make that change without it being a whole ordeal. So I was also in denial. Prime example of that. Back to my words. I'm so tired of this. Anyways, after lunch, I slept for 3 hours straight. I felt like a lazy bum. We ended up having Domino's for dinner. It wasn't so bad, actually. Slowly learning. Tomorrow should be a more eventful day. We might go peach picking at this orchard called Larryland Farms. I don't know why, but I'm really craving the Christmas spirit at this moment. Maybe I've caught the summer blues. Snack time. The end. And that is that entry from my diary. And I find it hilarious how I have to justify every time I stop writing. Like, I have to go watch Netflix now, or snack time. I don't know if that's a common theme throughout, but for some reason that's where my mind went to when I was writing in a journal. And I think it's interesting what I was paying attention to that summer when I was 15 years old, and my life was so compartmentalized into therapy and doing volunteering in a lab. And I didn't really have, if you notice, I don't really talk about friends much except Natalie, who moved away in Wisconsin. And it's just, I was so isolated and alone that summer. And I think I'll get into it later on. I don't know. I haven't looked at it in years. But yes, that's my episode for today. Hope you're having a great day, night, week, wherever you are. And signing off for now. Bye.